Wisconsin School District provide sexually explicit books to third graders. Material teaches students how to use sex apps. If you've tried anti-aging serums, wrinkle creams, or new diets without success, realize it's not your fault. We've been misled about what works to combat aging. The solution doesn't lie in new diet trends or surgery, but in ageless glow. I've noticed wrinkles nearly vanish since taking it. I've specifically noticed my facial skin looking and feeling firmer. The best part is you see results instantly within days, not months or years. Learn more by going to www.glowwithnatly.com. Furthermore, you'll get 38% off your first bottle if you order today, plus a 60-day money-back guarantee. Muchachos y muchachas. So these agendas stacked up against kids are disturbingly intense, and they keep intensifying more and more. Of course, we've seen this sort of make its way incrementally for the past few years in things like, Drag Queen Story Hour, although they fight tooth and nail that that's not what it is. Pride with Kids. And, just things of that nature, give the kids a choice to choose what they want. And in reality, it just doesn't go. Like, children shouldn't be deciding anything sexual or anything in regards to sexuality so early on. And the reason for this is, the frontal lobe cortex is a part of your brain. Every human being has a frontal lobe cortex, in which is your decision-making center. So typically that doesn't develop out into your late 20s to early 30s. For me, I can probably say it was really my early 30s where things just kind of like clicked. And I was like, oh, okay, this just seems more of a concrete decision, or, these decisions just kind of felt a bit better, I guess I could say. And so in saying that, it should never be part of the child's choice, decision, processing to make these big moves in their lives, like choosing their gender or sexuality or anything like that. So now that you know a little bit of science behind that, you know that they're not mature enough to consent or to do anything in that direction. So it just becomes very disturbing when you see things like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, Target, scope in on the kids and, push this really heavily, especially, I don't know if it was just me or what, but it just really felt really intense this past price season. But it's even more disturbing how they're trying to normalize this in schools. And I know that parents have you've seen these videos go viral around the internet with parents at school boards demanding that these new theories and these new sex education pieces that they be done with, because it's just really intense. So I wanted to give you guys a little scope in on that. I have found articles here and there from the past that are recent, but there are some recent articles that just really blew my mind. I can't believe that I'm actually reading this in 2021. So let's go straight to it. First off, we're going to start off in Wisconsin. Wisconsin School District provide sexually explicit books to third graders. Material teaches students how to use sex apps. Third graders, sex apps. I don't know what you were doing in third grade. In third grade, I was a dork. Like I was still watching cartoons. I was worried about just adolescent things going into what third grade. What is that? I don't know, 11 to, yeah, that's young. Like you shouldn't even be worried about this stuff. And yet this is what they're wanting to mold their brains. And brains, as you know, are very plastic, not like the plastic, not like plastic, but I'm talking about like they're very malleable. You can mold them. And so when you're doing this to young people, it's going to scar them for a long time. I didn't even say for life. And it's going to mold their brains in such a way that things that should not be, or things that are taboo and should remain taboo, are going to become normalized. So anyway, let me get into it. It says, and this is from the Daily Wire, students in a Wisconsin school district have access to a slew of sexually explicit books via their school-provided computers, including content that dubs traditional views of marriages as ignorant. That's hetero one-to-one relationships, is they're calling traditional marriages, they're calling it ignorant. Elmbrook School District offers students access to books and information via an online library called Sora. The Sora database, which can be accessed by students as young as 8 years old, includes books such as This Book is Gay by Juno Dawson and Queer by Kathy Belge and Mark Bish. Get this. This Book is Gay offers a play-by-play by how to use Grindr and other sex apps. Like, these are kids. This is why, like, look, I say this a lot, and I actually recently lost a friend, and I don't care. I mean, I don't care. Like, I have to, this is where the line is drawn. You can't, if you're a grown adult, and listen, I'm Christian, so I'm going to say this, and Christians don't always agree with me, but I'm just realistic. You can't control everybody's actions. You can't force them to see it your way. I might not agree with their lifestyle, but the reality is that I am not going to change them. So in saying that, what I can say is, as an adult, if that is a decision that you are making and you want to, that's the lifestyle that you choose, you are an adult and you will make that decision no matter what. Now, when it comes to kids, it's just completely unacceptable to open them up to sexuality, make it okay for them to choose their sexuality and act upon that chosen sexuality, because for me, sexuality in kids just opens up a gateway to pedophilia. You know what I mean? Like, I can't say the word, but that's just what it opens it up to, because they're conditioned for a sexuality, for a sex drive, and their brains should be on something else. They should be learning. Anyway, this is an excerpt from that book. This Book is Gay. How sex apps work. Number 1, upload a tiny picture of yourself to the app. The app works out your location. The app tells you who the nearest homosexuals are. You can chat to them. And then number 5, because they are near, it's easy to meet up with them. Now, what third grader needs a sex app? That's not like the third grade. This is true. This is sick. Like, I feel sick reading this. This is entirely disturbing. The book Queer, which parents dubbed sexually explicit, provides students with an in-depth analysis of anal sex, oral sex, one-night stands, and vaginal sex with dildos. The book also discusses the relationship between God and the LGBT community. Oh gosh, here we go. Somehow, this is a quote, somehow God always comes into the picture when queer people come out, the authors claim. The authors proceed to describe 3 types of religious people: the God hates F words people, the God can help you people, and the hate the sin, love the sinner people. The first people are described as individuals who use religion to justify their ignorant viewpoints and tell you what they're going to do, that they're going to burn in hell for being gay. The God can help you people, these people try to convince you that God will help you become straight. They will try to save you, and in this way, they are big fans of reparative therapy, the book reads. The hate the sin, love the sinner people, these people try to tell you that even if you can't help being gay, you should never act on it because gay sex is immoral and ungodly. So that is pretty much like a short jot through their curriculum, with these books in Wisconsin, in a Wisconsin school district. So this is, oh my gosh, this is even more alarming. I can't even I really could not believe that I read this. I really couldn't believe that I read this. Look at the headline. New CPS program puts free condoms in nearly every school, including elementaries. These people are sick. Like, why do elementary school kids need condoms? And like, it's just, oh my God, it makes me so mad because listen to what they're going to say. It says, when Chicago public schools fully reopen late next month for the first time since the start of the pandemic, students will be returning to school stocked with hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, masks, forehead thermometers, air purifiers. But nearly every CPS school will also have items that experts say will keep students healthy and safe regardless of the status of the planpocalypse. Menstruation products and condoms. Both will be provided as a result of a new policy passed by the CPS Board of Education in December. A similar action will require all schools in Illinois to provide menstruation products, generated far more attention this spring than it was passed by state lawmakers in Springfield. Under the CPS policy, schools that teach 5th grade and up must maintain a condom availability program as part of an expanded vision of sexual health education. That means all but dozen, which enroll only younger grades, and more than 600 CPS schools will have condoms. What? What? Why do they need condoms? Like, you don't, like, when I was in 5th, look, I grew up in a strict household, okay? And now that I look back at it, I'm like, okay, I'm kind of glad because like it really kept me from being a loose student. Like, I'm sorry to put it like that, but like there were some loose students in my high school, like, and you know, some of them, yeah, they got pregs, they experienced health conditions, like. It pays off to be a strict parent. And, you know, I can't even fathom what parent wouldn't be so involved in their kid's life that they would just not know what they're like doing. Like they would just allow them to go wherever yonder. So anyway, with that being said, like, it's not just the school, it's the parents too. It's like, if you're going to allow your kid to run around like that and, you know, actually utilize the availability supply of condoms, like that is entirely the parents' fault as well. But the school district enabling sexuality for young kids is so disturbing and it is so sick. And it says that it was an idea that was years in the making. And though it came with controversy, many experts agree that it was a step in the right direction for student health. This is a quote. "Young people have the right to accurate and clear information to make healthy decisions," said Fox pediatrician of 30 years. "They need access to resources to protect their health and their health from others if they act in those decisions." Again, like these people, like how are you an expert like this? How are you an expert like this where you have this medical degree, you go through years of schooling, you go through years of experience, and you don't know like that their decision-making process is just not ripe enough? How? She continues, "Essentially, what we want to do is make condoms available for students for and if they think they need them," he said. "When you don't have those protections and don't make those resources available and the bad stuff happens to young people, you have elevated risks of sexually transmitted infections or unintended pregnancies, and it's very preventable stuff." Or just like tell your kid, hey, no, you're not doing any of that stuff. Like, how did we make this even a choice for kids? To start elementary schools, elementary schools will get 250 condoms. High schools will get 1,000. When a school runs out, the principals are told to request more from CPS, CDPH. And then, which brings me, actually, let me read a little bit of this right here, because this actually segues perfectly to my next little rant. "The experts behind this say that providing condoms does not encourage their use." I'm going to set this right here, but I'm going to set this lovely drink right here, but don't drink it. Like, it's just insanity. Scott Bratt, an outreach and education director at the Chicago Women's Health Center, said that there will be plenty of parents who don't believe in this program is right for their family. It'll be the district's responsibility to listen to those concerns and offer direct communication about the condom availability does and does not mean. They say, I want to be really clear that the existence of condoms does not mean that all students are going to be using those condoms or encouraged to use them, Bratt said. The idea is to say we are educational centers, we are community health centers essentially, and that we know to invest in young folks' health and well-being by providing comprehensive sex ed. It means we also provide the resources. So they're saying we want them to have access to condoms. Like, no, they don't need them. And then, not only that, the new sort of curriculum, this is actually in Texas. So I don't understand, like, how do we praise these politicians and these leaders when it's in, like, this is we're in a red state in Texas. This is in the Austin Independent School District, that their human sexuality curriculum is, now teaching promiscuity and these new sexual concepts. Okay, let's just take a look. It's just, it infuriates me that this is in Texas. A detailed look at the 2020 class materials and lesson plans for elementary and middle school students in the Austin Independent School District provides a detailed window of the program based on the National Sex Education Standards updated in 2020 by the Future of Sex Education. Part of the initiative is for Advocates for Youth, which expresses its satisfaction at the updated indicators for consent and healthy relationships, gender identity, sexual orientation, and racial justice and equality. The state, like, how does that even, what? Just so they pull the race card, they pull in the sex, how? The standards apply from kinder to 12th grade school programs and were developed by individuals from many organizations, including the mass abortion industry leader, Planned Parenthood Federation of America. The rules blend more traditional sex education with far-left ideas of transgenderism, abortion normalization, and promiscuity. The standards state that by the end of second grade, ages 7 and 8, students should be able to identify different kinds of family structures and know the names for body parts, including male and female anatomy. By the end of high school, students should be able to describe the human sexual response cycle and differentiate between biological sex, sexual orientation, and gender identity and expression. Look, that's enough for me. This is just a bad movie. This is so disturbing that they're trying to push this on. These kids are so young, elementary, you're in elementary giving them condoms, you're trying to infiltrate the education system with this open promiscuous idea of sexual health. Look, if you're a parent, this is what they're trying to do. We've already seen 3 states, one of which is very red. That's I don't know if I could say very red, but it's red, Texas, And then you see all these other states that are trying to do the same thing and give these type of resources. It's just crazy. Sex apps, condoms, guys, take a look. This is what they're trying to do to your children. It's not an idea anymore. It's not far anymore. This is what they're trying to open up. The lines just keep getting blurred thinner and thinner and thinner by the day. I'm just here to tell you the truth. This is what is out there. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know if you're in a state where this is actually happening close to home, if you've been to the school board meetings, and what other parents are saying. Please form a community in my comments below. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Thank you for supporting me and loving me. Please like, share, subscribe, and tell somebody about this channel. You guys rock, and I will see you in the next episode. Muchachos y muchachas, I hope you enjoyed that video. There are a lot more videos like that and more on my new platform, natlydenise.tv, where you can also catch some of my old documentaries that you guys loved so much last year. That plus more. I just launched a new membership, Natly Denise Exclusives, in which we'll host new content, very exclusive content, some of which is based and unpopular with the mainstream, so therefore it has to be hosted there. Please consider signing up at natlydenise.tv. Also, please remember that I have a merch store, natlyDeniseGear.com, which is also linked in my description below, in which a portion of every single sale will go towards human trafficking rescue and aftercare. Thank you guys so much for your support. See you later.
Goodbye.